A 68-year-old woman walked past 300 people in a security line at O'Hare. She didn't cut, she didn't have TSA pre-check. She simply said 7 words to an agent and they escorted her to the front. What she knew, and what 90% of senior travelers don't, could transform every airport experience for the rest of your life. Airport employees are instructed to offer these perks, but they're trained to never advertise them. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 5 hidden airport perks that exist specifically for travelers over 60. You'll learn why perk number 4 gets you through customs in 5 minutes, while everyone else waits an hour. And the final perk? It's so powerful that gate agents actually get nervous when seniors discover it. Because once you know, you'll never pay for premium services again. Stay till the end, because what happened when a 75-year-old requested perk number 5 made the airline upgrade his entire family to first class just to avoid the situation. Perk 5. Complimentary lounge access. This one has specific conditions, but when it applies, it's transformative. Many airlines offer complimentary lounge access to passengers over a certain age who are traveling on specific ticket types. The policies vary by airline and aren't published publicly, but gate agents have discretion to grant access, and they're more likely to do so for senior travelers. Here's the strategy that works. When you arrive at the airport early, which you should for stress-free travel, approach the airline's customer service desk, not the ticket counter. These desks are usually near baggage claim or in the ticketing area. You say, "I have a long wait before my flight. Is there any possibility of courtesy lounge access for the wait time?" The phrase courtesy access is key. You're not demanding, you're inquiring about a courtesy. What happens next depends on several factors. If the flight is oversold and you're not in a premium cabin, they're unlikely to grant it because the lounge is already crowded. But if the flight is normally booked or undersold and the lounge has capacity, agents have discretion to issue a day pass, particularly for older travelers who present as calm and reasonable. But here's where your age becomes an advantage. Airlines track customer complaints and satisfaction by demographic. Senior travelers generate fewer complaints than younger travelers, so airlines are incentivized to keep you satisfied. A comfortable senior in the lounge who then boards quietly is better for the airline than a frustrated senior at the gate who might need assistance or accommodations that cost time and money. And if the courtesy access doesn't work, here's the paid option that's worth knowing about. Day passes to airline lounges typically cost $50 to $75. But here's what you get: comfortable seating, free food, and beverages including alcohol, clean bathrooms, power outlets, and quiet environment. For a senior traveler with a 3-hour layover, that $75 pass transforms an exhausting wait into a pleasant break. You can nap in a comfortable chair. You can eat a real meal. You can use a clean bathroom without crowds. What frequent senior travelers have discovered is that credit cards with airport lounge access pay for themselves quickly. The Chase Sapphire Reserve, American Express Platinum, and several other premium cards include Priority Pass membership, which grants access to over 1,300 lounges worldwide. The annual fee seems steep, $550 for the Amex Platinum, but if you fly 6 times a year and use lounges for each trip, you're getting $3,000 worth of lounge access for that $550 fee. And here's the detail that makes this especially valuable for seniors. Lounges are quiet. There's no gate announcement chaos, no screaming children in the waiting area, no fighting for outlets to charge your phone. It's a civilized environment designed for comfort. For older travelers who find airports overwhelming and exhausting, lounge access fundamentally changes the experience from endurance test to pleasant interlude. Perk 4. Expedited customs and immigration. This is the perk that saves the most time internationally, and it's shockingly underutilized by senior travelers. When you return to the United States from international travel, you must clear customs and immigration. This process typically takes 60 to 90 minutes at major airports, but there are 3 programs that reduce it to 5 to 10 minutes, and seniors qualify easily. The first is Global Entry. It costs $100 for 5 years, $20 per year. You apply online, get conditionally approved, then schedule an in-person interview at an enrollment center. The interview takes 10 minutes. They ask basic questions, take your photo and fingerprints, and approve you on the spot. From that point forward, you use dedicated Global Entry kiosks when returning to the US. Scan your passport, look at the camera for facial recognition, answer a few questions on screen, and you're through. No lines, no agent interaction unless something flags. But here's what makes global entry particularly valuable for seniors. The enrollment centers are often empty during daytime weekdays. Book an appointment at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and you'll walk in and out in 15 minutes total. The airports where you'll use it, international terminals at major hubs, have customs lines that regularly exceed 90-minute waits. Global entry users walk past those lines directly to kiosks. On a single international trip, you save an hour and a half of standing in line exhausted from a long flight. The second program is Mobile Passport Control. This is completely free and doesn't require pre-enrollment or interviews. You download the app, create a profile with your passport information, and use it when returning to the US. As you're landing, you open the app and answer the customs declaration questions. The app generates a QR code. When you land, you proceed to the Mobile Passport Control line, separate from the regular customs line, and show your QR code. An agent quickly verifies it and waves you through. What's remarkable is how few travelers use Mobile Passport Control despite it being free and easy. At major airports, the Mobile Passport line has 10 people, while the regular line has 300. You save an hour minimum, and it costs nothing. The only limitation is that it's not available at all airports, but it works at the major international hubs where long lines are the biggest problem. The third program is Nexus, which costs $50 for 5 years, half the cost of global entry, and includes all global entry benefits plus expedited entry to Canada. If you travel to Canada with any frequency, Nexus is the better value. The enrollment process is slightly more complex because both US and Canadian officers must interview you, but the benefits are identical to global entry for US travel. And here's the detail that senior travelers particularly appreciate. All 3 programs include TSA pre-check automatically. So you're getting expedited security screening domestically and expedited customs internationally. For $100 and a 10-minute interview, you're eliminating the 2 most stressful parts of air travel for 5 years. The return on investment is immediate and massive. Perk 3, priority boarding without paying. Airlines have created a hierarchy of boarding groups designed to pressure passengers into paying for early boarding. But there's a free priority boarding option available to all senior travelers that most people don't know exists, and airlines definitely don't advertise. Here's exactly how this works. When boarding begins, don't line up with your assigned group. Instead, approach the gate agent before general boarding starts, ideally during the pre-boarding announcement. You say, "I need pre-boarding assistance due to mobility concerns." You don't need to be in a wheelchair. You don't need a cane. Mobility concerns is broadly defined and includes anything that makes boarding difficult. Arthritis, balance issues, needing extra time to stow luggage, or simply moving slower than the rushing crowds. The gate agent must allow you to pre-board. This is federal policy under the Air Carrier Access Act. Pre-boarding happens before first class, before elite status holders, before anyone who paid for priority boarding. You board when the plane is empty, allowing you to stow your carry-on at a comfortable pace, get settled in your seat, and avoid the chaos of boarding crowds pushing past you. But here's where this becomes strategically valuable beyond just comfort. When you pre-board, you get first access to overhead bins near your seat. For senior travelers concerned about lifting luggage or having to walk far to find bin space, this solves the problem completely. Your bag goes directly over your seat. You don't have to lift it high because you can take your time positioning it. And you don't have to fight crowds to retrieve it when landing. What airlines don't tell you is that you can bring one companion with you during pre-boarding. The policy allows a travel companion to assist you, and that companion boards with you. So, if you're traveling with your spouse, adult child, or friend, both of you board first, even if only one person requested the accommodation. You're both getting the benefit of empty overhead bins and stress-free boarding. And here's the part that reveals how valuable this perk truly is. Airlines charge $25 to $40 per person for priority boarding. If you're a couple taking 4 flights per year, that's $320 annually that you're avoiding by using pre-boarding assistance instead. Over 10 years of retirement travel, that's $3,200 saved. That's a free vacation funded by knowing your rights. The psychology of this matters too. Boarding is one of the most stressful parts of flying. Crowds pushing, bins filling up, people rushing. By removing yourself from that chaos entirely, you reduce travel stress significantly. You board calmly. You get settled. Then you watch everyone else struggle with what you just avoided. The mental health benefit is as valuable as the financial savings. Perk 2. Complimentary seat selection and upgrades. This perk exists in a gray area that airlines exploit for revenue, but senior travelers have more negotiating power than they realize. Airlines increasingly charge for seat selection, but they are required to accommodate passengers with mobility needs, and that requirement creates opportunities. Here's the approach that works. When you check in online 24 hours before your flight, the system will try to charge you for seat selection. Don't pay. Instead, when you arrive at the airport, approach the gate agent well before boarding, at least an hour early. You explain, "I need an aisle seat for easy bathroom access," or "I need extra leg room due to knee issues." You're not demanding a free upgrade, you're explaining a medical need. Gate agents have discretion to assign seats to accommodate medical needs without charging the seat selection fee. An aisle seat in the exit row for extra legroom. They can assign that to address your mobility concern, a seat near the front of the plane to minimize walking. They can make that happen. The key is framing it as a need related to age or mobility, not a preference for comfort. But here's where the system works in your favor more than you'd expect. Airlines overbook flights regularly. They're counting on a certain number of no-shows. But when everyone shows up, they need volunteers to take later flights. And they need to move passengers around to accommodate families, groups, and people with connections. This creates empty premium seats that gate agents can assign. What experienced senior travelers have discovered is that polite persistence works. If the first gate agent says all premium seats are taken, you wait 30 minutes and ask again. As boarding time approaches, the inventory changes. Passengers don't show up. Standby, passengers clear. Seats that were blocked become available. The gate agent who couldn't help you at 2 p.m. might have options at 2:45 p.m. And here's the upgrade possibility that rarely gets discussed. If you're on a full flight and you've identified yourself as needing accommodation, extra legroom, aisle access, mobility concerns, and the only way to accommodate you is to move you to a premium cabin, the airline must do so without charge. This doesn't happen often, but it happens. A completely full economy cabin with no aisle seats available, they'll upgrade you to premium economy or even first class rather than deny you an accommodation. What makes this particularly effective is consistency. If you fly the same airline regularly and always politely request accommodations, gate agents start recognizing you. The system notes your requests. Over time, they start proactively assigning you better seats because it's easier than negotiating at the gate every time. You become a known passenger with documented needs, and the system adapts to accommodate you automatically. The practical advice: never pay for seat selection as a senior traveler. Always wait until airport check-in and request accommodation. Will you always get what you want? No, but you'll get it often enough that you'll save hundreds of dollars per year in seat fees while often ending up in better seats than you would have paid for. Perk 1. Medical and mobility equipment flies free. This is the most powerful perk on this list because it can save thousands of dollars per year for senior travelers with mobility equipment. And the definition of mobility equipment is far broader than most people realize. Airlines are federally required to transport assistive devices at no charge, regardless of size or weight, and they cannot count them toward your baggage allowance. Here's what qualifies as mobility equipment: wheelchairs, walkers, canes, crutches, prosthetics, oxygen concentrators, CPAP machines, portable nebulizers, shower chairs, toilet risers, and even medications, requiring refrigeration with accompanying cooling devices. If you use it for mobility or medical necessity, it flies free. No exceptions, no limits, no baggage fees. But the definition extends further than obvious mobility aids. A standard folding chair that you use because airport seating is uncomfortable for your back. That's assistive equipment. A portable seat cushion prescribed for tailbone pain. That's medical equipment. The key is that you declare it as necessary for your health or mobility, and the airline cannot challenge your declaration or charge you for it. What senior travelers don't realize is that this exemption doesn't count against your carry-on allowance either. You can bring a carry-on bag, a personal item, and unlimited mobility equipment. A traveler with a wheelchair, a walker, a CPAP machine, and a bag of medications has one carry-on, one personal item, and 4 pieces of free mobility equipment. All permitted, all free, all guaranteed to travel with you. And here's the protection that's critical. If the airline damages or loses your mobility equipment, they're liable for full replacement cost, not the depreciated value they apply to regular baggage. A power wheelchair costs $15,000. The airline must pay $15,000 if they destroy it. This is why airlines have dedicated procedures for mobility equipment. They're terrified of the liability. But what nobody tells you is how to ensure your equipment travels safely. First, take photos of everything before you hand it over. Document the condition. Second, get the gate agent's name and note it on your boarding pass. Third, request a damaged equipment report form before you leave the airport if anything is wrong. Don't wait until you get home. Document everything immediately while witnesses are present. And here's the strategy that experienced travelers use. If you need mobility equipment at your destination, a wheelchair, walker, or cane, but you don't regularly use one at home, you can rent equipment and bring it on the plane as assistive equipment. Rent a lightweight folding wheelchair for a 2-week trip. It flies free, both directions. At your destination, you have mobility assistance for walking long distances. You return it when you get home. Total cost for rental, maybe $75. Total savings on checked baggage fees if you had to pack extra clothes and supplies in checked bags, $150. You save money while improving your travel experience. The medical equipment aspect extends to medications as well. Prescription medications, over-the-counter medications, and liquid supplements are exempt from the 3-to-1-1 liquid rule when declared as medically necessary. You can bring full-size bottles of liquid medications in your carry-on. You can bring syringes and needles with documentation. You can bring cooling packs for temperature-sensitive medications. All exempt. All permitted in quantities that would otherwise be prohibited. What this means practically is that senior travelers with health needs can travel comfortably without compromise. You can bring everything you need medically and for mobility assistance without paying fees, without counting it against baggage allowance, and with legal protection if anything goes wrong. The system is designed to accommodate you. Most airlines just don't advertise these rights because they'd rather collect baggage fees from travelers who don't know better. But here's what connects all 7 perks, the pattern that explains why they exist but remain hidden. Airlines make billions annually, from fees and premium services, priority boarding, seat selection, lounge access, baggage fees. These are revenue streams that depend on passengers not knowing their rights. Every accommodation required by federal law represents lost revenue opportunity. So airlines comply with the law but never advertise the accommodations. They train staff to provide services when requested, but to never proactively offer them. The perks exist. The staff know about them. They're just hoping you don't. And the most important detail, using these perks doesn't make you difficult or demanding. You're using services that exist specifically for your age group and situation. Every single one is legal, ethical, and within your rights as a senior traveler. 7 hidden airport perks that exist specifically for travelers over 60. Airlines won't tell you. Airports won't advertise them. But they're required to provide them when you know to ask. Print this list. Save this video. Use these perks every single time you fly, because comfortable travel after 60 isn't a luxury. It's knowing your rights and using the accommodations that federal law guarantees. Hit that like button if this revealed perks you never knew existed. Subscribe for more senior travel content that cuts through airline marketing to reveal what you're actually entitled to. And drop a comment telling me which perk you'll use on your next flight. The system is designed to accommodate senior travelers. You just need to know what to ask for and how to ask for it. Travel confidently, travel comfortably, and never pay for services that should be free.